So here we're taking another look at Donald Trump making that grand magisterial entrance to his presidential announcement today via escalator at Trump Tower.
Trump is always controversial and does stuff that drives people a little bit nuts. The notion of arriving at an event on an escalator is kind of absurd.
It's strange. I mean, it's absurd, surreal, odd, not something that any normal person would do.
You don't normally see that.
No, not at all.
A lot of attention to the event today. We talked about it earlier in the show. We're going to think about Trump as a magnet for attention. The guy gets covered no matter what he does, whether he's on an escalator or off, whether he's announcing for president or not. He always gets attention and is a polarizing figure.
But nobody is not fascinated or appalled by the Donald. They either, whether they like him or hate him, they still pay attention to him. That's been the core of how he's become such a big figure.
And I gotta say, elites don't like him for the most part.
No.
But the masses, a lot of the masses do.
A lot of the masses like him. Elites don't take him seriously, but they are,
Let's not go with the caricature. Let's go with the extended clips and take a look at Donald Trump in his announcement speech
Right.
today.
Let's seriously think about him as a presidential candidate and how he performed today. And let's start by looking at him as he attacks some of his now official rivals like Jeb Bush.
You looked at Bush. It took him 5 days to answer the question on Iraq. He couldn't answer the question. He didn't know. I said, is he intelligent? Then I looked at Rubio. He was unable to answer the question. Is Iraq a good thing or a bad thing? He didn't know. He couldn't answer the question. How are these people going to lead us? Bush is totally in favor of Common Core. I don't see how he can possibly get the nomination. He's weak on immigration. He's in favor of Common Core. How the hell can you vote for this guy? You just can't do it.
So if you're Jeb Bush looking at this from up in New Hampshire today, how worried are you about this, if at all?
Worried because the guy could start spending tens of millions of dollars on negative ads. Trump is constantly courted by Republican presidential candidates, which is why when the haters dismiss him as irrelevant, he is courted. He mentioned today he's got meetings coming up with these guys. I think I'd be worried if I were Bush, but I think anybody who Trump thinks he can get attention by attacking, he'll attack. And if he does paid media, oof.
I sort of think that Jeb Bush, like you sort of grow in stature by the quality of your attackers.
Maybe.
If Donald Trump starts to attack Jeb Bush, it seems to me if Jeb Bush is any good, he can turn that to his advantage.
If Trump does it personally, but if he does it through paid media that just says at the end, I'm Donald Trump and I paid for this message, I'd be worried just by the pure volume of the ads, particularly if he decides to go on TV soon.
But I think this is still a question. Yeah. We know Donald Trump has a lot of money. Yeah. How much is he actually going to spend?
We'll see. All right. Now, one of the things that happened today that got a lot of notice was Donald Trump in an era, in a year, when most candidates are playing down their personal wealth, played his up big time.
I'm proud of my net worth. I've done an amazing job. So the total is $8,737,540,000. Now, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to brag, because you know what? I don't have to brag. I don't have to, believe it or not. I'm doing that to say that that's the kind of thinking our country needs. We need that thinking. We have the opposite thinking. We have losers. We have losers.
Is there an advantage to saying, I am so rich? A political advantage or not?
No, there's no advantage to it whatsoever. But that's what Trump likes to be known for. He wants to be known as the symbol of wealth in America. I love the fact that the greatest thing about that is I'm not bragging here, but I am very, very rich. But I'm not bragging.
I will tell you, Arnold Schwarzenegger won people over in California by talking about how successful he was. Yes. There are some people, Trump's base supporters, like to hear it, although I will say, in that room, it looked like the cutaways and the producers, people looked a little unclear about why he was doing it.
It sits so much at odds with his other populist overtones, though. That's what's so strange about it. It's kind of incoherent. All right. Now let's get to the rest of these clips. This is very Trumpy.
I beat China all the time. When do we beat Mexico? They just built a hotel in Syria. Are you running? Are you not running? Could we have your support? Obama is going to be out playing golf. He might even be on one of my courses. I would invite him. We need a leader that wrote The Art of the Deal. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories about trade. We get Bergdahl, they get 5 killer terrorists. I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building that I got from China in a war. I'm really rich. I love the Saudis. Many are in this building. They always keep our equipment. Do you really think that these people are interested in Yemen? Ford will come back. They'll all come back. But Mr. Trump, you're not a nice person.
We don't need nice.
That's true. But actually I am. And I promise I will never be in a bicycle race. That I can tell you.
Here's the thing. Somebody watching that might say it couldn't possibly have been that much stream of consciousness. It was actually more stream of consciousness than what we just represented.
He went off script a lot for a guy in his presidential announcement.
Absolutely amazing.